Chilekupu Obugo Kerelu Kala I na Torogo Mama Le Bendem Garanga Mugua Obunde Shila Rapid Television Abia Kamano Labum Paretoka Kamano Labum I from Basaru Melala Madashi Chilekupu Ọjị Bia Lejuala Nam Shobiaranga Mabia Bulem Yange Lampu Apply Lazo Ọjị la ineji anabata Ọbụkana ọjị la nna anyị njiri lụọ nwaanyị lụọ nne anyị ọbụkana ya da njiri ga anabata we ọbụkana ọjị la ineji anabata ọbịa anmachi Chilekupu mkpa abịaruwa menyewa ọjị aga wee ta ọjị tata mma anyị ga-eta ọjị tata udo anyị ga-eta ọjị tata ọganihu Oge doro Abia steeti mma oge doro Nigeria mma n'aha nke nna na nke ọkpara na nke mmụọ nsọ amen.
As the sun rises, so do we rise from the east.
Ta Igbo kwenu kwenu kwezoro.
Eastern Circle.
Of course, it's a beautiful day. Good morning and welcome to Eastern Circle. My name is Michael Odoemena. It's another day to be on the show, and we are awake, we are active, we are alive, and we are here to get your day started. And from this part of the country, the southeastern part of the country, basically, we are a people full of cultural heritage. I mean, you cannot take that away from an Igbo man. And one of the things, when we talk about cultural heritage, one of the things that comes to mind as a Southeasterner is kingship. I mean, it's beyond physical. The kingship system in Igbo land is more or less spiritual, which is why it's embedded in the lineage of whoever the ancestors have deemed fit to represent the people. And such conversation is what we're having this morning, because in AROCHUKWU Kingdom here in Abia State, for a while now there's been the issue with the kingship system, and then with the person who was crowned earlier, taken out of office, and then another Ezaro, the king of Aro, installed recently in a very robust coronation ceremony. And just days after, a court injunction is served saying that he should be stripped of the title and returned to his former position. So it's a lot going on. A big question you might want to ask: so what is going on? Why was the other king removed? Why do we have a new king? What is the role of the judiciary in this matter that more or less you would say it's a traditional, it's a cultural affair? What is the role of the state? Why do we have this confusion that have left the people of AROCHUKWU wondering what they should do with their lives at this time, where they cannot say this is our king at the moment? But to make sense of this whole conversation this morning, I have joining me via Skype this morning, I have Mr. Chiwe Udensi, of course, he's a son of the soil and, of course, a well-read in terms of academics and then the cultural practices as well. So he'll be here to help me make sense of this conversation this morning. So, without wasting much time, let's get to meet my guest. Mr. Udensi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but not very clearly. There's some mix-ups. You're not very well.
Oh, okay. There seemed to be some interference with the network, I suppose. But just confirm if you can hear me better now.
I can hear you very well now.
Okay, great, great. So, welcome. It's great to have you join me today. I'm quite excited to have you because this is a topic that I've thought about for quite a while, and then the people as well, a lot of questions. But before we get into the meat of the matter, I would want you to, first of all, help us understand what the Aro kingship system is about. Like a brief background of the Aro kingship system, because I know, I feel it's the same across Igbo land.
There is no doubt that can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Well, there's no doubt that AROCHUKWU Ezeship is one of the very few revered Ezeship in the country today. And Aros particularly are very circumspect about any arrangement or any idea that will either dilute or take away the very essence of our tradition. We are very jealous of our tradition. It is very different from other traditions, and we are very, very jealous about it, and we guide it very jealously. That is why you see so much of hues and cry with what the state government, in conjunction with some security agencies in Abia State, is trying to thwart the very serious will of the people. The people are the ones that will select who will lead them, following laid down traditional procedures. We will not, Arab people are very, very, very effective and insistent that they will never, under any circumstance, allow the thwarting of our tradition with impunity by those who think that they are in government. You cannot do that. And if you do that, our people will resist it and will resist it very effectively. So the background information is that we have our procedure for electing or selecting a new Eze. This happened because of the death of Ezaro the 8th. So there's a need to have Ezaro the 9th. After the first year of mourning, the people decided to have their new Eze. And the procedure, the process, is very simple and it is very concrete. Only one family, called the Oke family, will amongst themselves select one person. There's no interferences at all. What we're having right now is undue external interference into the selection process of Ezaro of AROCHUKWU, which people are resisting very, very seriously. So what has happened is that the three families, that the one that has to select the Eze, one family says they're not going to listen to the rest of the three families, two families, and they've gone ahead to pick up somebody who they said must be Eze, despite the not following due procedure. I understand and I like the young man. I have interacted with him. He's a very nice young man, very gentle. Is the kind of thing we should have as Eze. But the process that they used in selecting him is alien to us, and those people who have selected him do not have the powers within our culture and tradition to select them.
Now, let me butt in there. First of all, Mr. The Eze Wankano was arrested earlier in the year. And what we heard is that he was arrested for impersonation. Can you shed more light on that? What does that actually mean? Who was he impersonating?
That is why the court threw it away. The court says he was not impersonating anybody. Can he impersonate himself? If you take the procedure very clearly, he cannot impersonate himself. He is the one that has been crowned according to our tradition. I'm not saying that the process of his crowning is perfect, no, because I've already queried it. But he's the one that has been crowned according to our tradition, selected by 2 members out of the 3 of the family, and crowned by the crowning authority in our community. Government doesn't crown our Eze. We don't have a government crowned Eze. These ones are talking about receiving staff of office. We're not interested in staff of office. They can keep the staff of office. We are interested in the traditional procedure of electing, selecting, and crowning of our Eze, not through the process of government interfering unduly. And more importantly, there were several court cases for which one of the courts gave an interim injunction restraining Eberechukwu from doing anything. In fact, not just him, anybody going to be crowned or going for any ceremonies pending the determination of the suit that was before him. The government ignored that. Government officials came and said they were going to go ahead despite court orders, and then went ahead and did what they did some 2 weeks ago. That was why, again, the court now gave a subsequent order requesting that staff of office given to him should be withdrawn. In fact, right now, in the eyes of the law, only Godwin Idei is the Ezaro that has not been, whose crowning has not been by any court of competent jurisdiction. And this is what we're saying. When you're in government, you don't take laws into your hands. And let me use this opportunity to massively congratulate the courage of Justice Wakama. You can't relate all this. Hey, this impunity is just too much. A court of competent jurisdiction have given an interim injunction. Let nobody do anything until we listen to this matter. And the court says the court should go, the government says the court should go to hell. That they are going to go ahead and coronate him. This impunity, this disobedience to orders of court, we must have to find a way to stop it. And those who are doing it should be condemned without any equivocation within our system. No matter who they are, no matter what their levels are. We must have to have an orderly society, whether you're in government or out of government, whether you're highly elevated or downly elevated. You must make sure that you respect our laws, and our laws are those that are adjudicated in courts. The court order do not do that, and they went ahead and did that. I congratulate the courage of Justice Wakama.
Now, before I come to, because there's something that is on my mind, the sacredness of the traditionals too, which seem to have been is going through this roller coaster situation right now. But before I get to that, the position, the role of the Ono, the kingmaker in Igbo traditional kingmaking system cannot be overemphasized. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, without the Ono, who is the kingmaker, giving consent or participating in the process itself, no one can be recognized as king. Was that the situation with Eze Eberechukwu that was recently coronated?
Absolutely. Our man who puts the crown did not put the crown on Eberechukwu. In fact, he put the crown on Godwin Idei. The Aro system also is very unique. Aro has 3 kindreds. Each of the kindreds has a role to play in that process.
Okay.
One kindred, which is called Okenachi, produces the king. The kindred called Ibomisi will crown. Okenachi cannot crown in our culture. Even when you produce, you cannot crown. AROCHUKWU is very unique. So while you produce, another kindred will crown you. Then the last kindred, which is the last but not the least kindred, which is Ezabu, will now endorse. Without these 3 processes, producing the Eze through the normal process, crowning, an endorsement, if that is not concluded effectively, you're not Eze. You cannot be Eze. No matter how many staff of office, if you want 1 million staff of office, you can obtain them yourself anywhere. You can go and even get them from abroad. But in AROCHUKWU, we have a process. If that process is not, we will reject you and reject you very effectively.
Now, let me ask, these 3 families you have mentioned, quite interesting. Was any of them involved in the recent process? Was any of the 3 at all involved in the process?
Yes, the 2 of the 3 was involved in Godly Day, in the process of selecting him, which is our normal process. But the 7 people that selected Eberechukwu, they're not known according to our tradition.
Okay. So these 3 families, none of them was involved in selecting Eberechukwu. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me? We seem to be having some network issues with that connection. I do hope you're able to join us once again. Actually, I mean, you can see the situation here. It's an interesting trio of events. I mean, 3 families should be involved, aside the role of the Onowu itself, himself. And then we know how it is in Igbo land. It's a sacred tradition, crowning a king. Okay, are you here, Mr. Chikwe, now?
Yes, I'm back.
Great. So I was asking, so regarding the recent Eze Eberechukwu, none of the 3 families contributed in the process. Is that what you're saying, sir?
No, not one single one. The 7 persons, I can name them. The 7 persons that selected him, none of them is a member of the family. That's what we're saying. They're only saying that one of them is from government, and then the rest of them are close to the governor. That is not the criteria we use in selecting our Eze. If they want to make him minister, fine, or want to make him commissioner, okay. But Eze of AROCHUKWU, we have a procedure. And that procedure was not followed by those 7 persons. And those 7 persons are not even saying that they are members of the family. They are only saying that they are arrogated to themselves the authority to do that.
How did the authorities come about?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, you said they abrogated to themselves authority. What authority? How? What legitimizes their authority?
That's what we're saying, that there's no legitimization of a nonsense authority. They arrogated. They arrogated to themselves.
Oh, okay.
They arrogated to themselves. And none of them is a member of the family that ought to do it. But in the other instance, where the 3 families are involved, 2 members, which is a majority, and then do you know whose job it is to crown? Crowned. Despite all that, we are saying 2 of you go back to your family, let your family endorse 1 person. That is what we're saying.
Okay.
Go back to your family. It is only that your family that can nominate, that can select, that can elect. Only that family. Go back there. 3 families. Let those 3 families be the ones to select. So what you people are doing is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Those 7 impostors, traditional impostors, some of them are not even from our community.
Now, Mr. Chikwe, this situation it's been going on for quite a while now. What is the body language of the people of Aro? Now you are speaking as a citizen. What is the body language of the generality of the Aro people regarding this situation?
Well, there is a division. There is a very big division. There's a division. Some chunk of the elites, some elites are saying, yes, this is what we like. This is what we like to do. But we're saying you don't have to do what you like. You have to do what is right. What is right is different from what you like. The young man is a very likable young man, don't get me wrong. Very, very likable. I've interacted with him 3 times. He has honored me and came to my house, came to my hotel room with his wife. We interacted together, and I kept telling him, yes, I like your person. You are likable. You can be a good Eze. But the only Eze I would recommend you to be is a peaceful Eze. And the only way that peaceful Eze can come is if you go and make peace with your family. The three of you must agree on and bring you out. If three of you do not agree, you will have a problem. And that's what we have right now. You can see how he's been messed up in courts. This was avoidable, especially when the governor himself called me 1 a.m. in the morning. I was fast asleep. The governor called me. I said, there's serious problem in our community. Go and make peace. And I set up a very powerful committee comprising of the two of them, comprising of the SS of other kindred, the security institutions in AROCHUKWU. We all sat down for almost 3 hours and we agreed that the only way out, go back to the families.
How long ago was this call, sir?
That was in December, just last December. On the 20, I got the governor's call on the 22nd. On the 23rd, I was already in AROCHUKWU for the meeting. Summoned the police, the DPO. I called on the DSS head, the NDLE, the head of NDLE, the head of army. Everybody was in my house. The two gentlemen, Eberechukwu and Gordon, they were there. The people who are causing this trouble, I called their head, Udochijoke. He was there. I brought him, and we all discussed. The only solution is to do the right thing. If you don't do the right thing, you keep having problems. And I communicated to this governor. And let me tell you my concern. When I communicated the resolution of the committee to the governor approved it. He was very happy. On the 24th, he sent me a message thanking me, congratulating me for resolving the issues. On the 27th, he called me back and said, the people said no. Who are the people? The people must be the other people, not those people who are close to you. They are not advising you properly. On the 27th, he invited me to his house in the company of so many prominent Arosons, including Mazi Samohu Abunwa. Mazi Samohu Abunwa spoke to him very passionately that what he's doing is not right. Let us not go and take a wrong person in a wrong direction with a wrong process. He can still be Eze without doing injustice to anybody. And for any form of injustice, we're not going to be part of it. And myself, in fact, His Excellency the Governor appointed one other person, a very, very respectable Aroson, Chief Obasi Lawson, and told him, go and make peace. Since Chief Udesi's peace was scuttled, go and make your own peace. Obasi Lawson called all of us, including myself, including everybody, all the kindreds. He selected about seven persons per kindred, and all stakeholders in Aro were invited, and we in his house. While we were discussing, we finished the first set of discussion, rearranged to have a second set of discussion. The people said they are not accepting what we were discussing, and that they are going to go ahead and inaugurate Eberechukwu or is it coronation? I don't know what they called it. We don't do coronation in AROCHUKWU. We bring, after the crowning, we present to the community. That's all. The rest of the things are subversive. So what happened here is that while we were still even subjected ourselves to the second set of peacemaking process through a very close friend of the governor and a very respectable son of AROCHUKWU. He's so angry right now. I spoke to him the other day. I said, have you seen where they have kept us? Have you seen where they have made a mess of AROCHUKWU? A very revered stool. Yes, Zara of AROCHUKWU. They started using law enforcement, using the army, using police, using NDLEA. Let me respectfully congratulate and thank the former DPO of AROCHUKWU, Felix Okochi. He told them openly, you can't use me.
So, Mr. Chikwe, correct me if I'm wrong.
The young man from...
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, go ahead, I can hear you.
Great. So, correct me if I'm wrong. The people behind the current Eberechukwu have the backings of the government. Is that what you're saying? The government of the day?
Of course, it is the government. It is the governor and one of his SAs and his friends who are from AROCHUKWU. They're the ones doing this.
Okay,
it's
great.
not just backing, it is the governor himself. Yes.
Interesting. Now, given this situation, because even recently, regarding the court order, the government just said that there is no such thing as court order in that regard. In fact, that they did not receive any court injunction in the regard, as reviewed by the Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Ferdinand Ekoma, to the state government, that they did not receive any court order in that regard.
He did not say that. He said that they have not been served.
Oh, they have not been served.
He said that they have not been served.
Okay.
But you see, nobody needs to serve you. You are party to the suit. Your lawyers were there when the orders were given. You have filed. If you were not served, if you're not aware of it, why are you filing appeal? They have already filed notice of appeal, and they have already filed appeal already. So if you are not aware, why are you filing appeal? I've already told them, let us be honorable people. What I mean by honorable is look at what Mba did in Enugu State. We had the same scenario. He was supporting somebody, but once the court gave a ruling, gave an order, he respected the order and called all the parties and said, go and respect the order of court. So if on appeal it is changed, we respect it again. That is how sensible, lawful people behave. All this lawlessness, all this arrogance is unfortunate. It's a sign of primitivity. It's a sign of backwardness. Let us have a sane society where our people are the people that must make sure that the rule of law is maintained. And let me tell you something. My concern is that the worst of the criminals we have in our system are those who are educated. They are the ones who are so disrespectful of court order, those in government. And they will also go back to that same government, they go back to the same court to seek protection when they are out of government. But when they are in government, the level of arrogance, the level of disrespect for court orders, how can you effectively survive as a society without law and order? Let us respect our laws. Let us respect the courts. When we do not like what the courts have said, we'll go on appeal. Let us stop taking laws into our hands.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Udensi. Actually, before I let you go, I want you to wade in quickly on this issue. Recently, the Council of Traditional Rulers was inaugurated in Owerri, and I think it was under the leadership of Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma. And a lot of people are saying that this is more or less a political move because it's an APC thingy. But first of all, looking at the traditional system of kingship, we know how much sacred it is. It has been over time. But recently, the first question is, do you think there's even hope of getting back to that situation where the traditional stew is more spiritual than physical? I mean, those days when the king would have to summon you and you would come to the king and not the other way around. Because now what we see is the governor or the president will call the traditional rulers and they will all leave their traditional stew and they will go to have a meeting with the governor or the president or whoever the case may be. So this is like going away from what we used to have. I don't know if what I think is right, but it's like affecting the level of respect the traditional system and kingship had over time. Do you see us getting back to that particular revered state, or we've lost it totally?
I do not know how we can effectively go back to a very decent society and system like we used to have. The introduction of our political system have bastardized the whole thing. Governors and those in authority now think that they are the ones who are the SS. If we have to take the kingship or the traditional settings like we have in other parts of the world, look at the king of
England.
Belgium. You
Okay.
see, England is the extra one. Other kings too. The king of Belgium, the king of England. It used to be Queen, now the king of England. Look at other climes where we have kings. And do you see how things work? Do you see how effective things work? The arrogance of those we put in government today, their desire to take laws into their hands. And you see how empty and vulnerable they can be when they are no more in government. But when they are in government, arrogance, extreme arrogance.
All right, sir.
And
Now,
they will run back to this same, they will run back to this same courts and ask for protection. It is very unfortunate.
all right.
It is very
Finally,
disturbing.
before I
We should
let you go, sir.
condemn it without any provocation.
Thank you, Mr. Chikwe. Before I let you go, actually, back to what I mentioned earlier, the Council of Traditional Rulers inaugurated recently in Imo State. Do you see that group, solving the southeastern problem? Do you see them actually bringing development or changing the fortune of the Imo people?
Most of the traditional rulers I saw there were government appointed. I don't know the purpose. I don't know the intention they were put together. It could be for their reasons. You know what happens in Owerri? I've always quarreled with my friend Uzodimma. When they arranged the security summit in Owerri, I looked at the agenda. I knew it was a jamboree. I refused to go. I'm the highest ranking security consultant in the country today. At the risk of sounding modest, I am. I'm the systems consultant, and I'm also the vice president of ISA. ISA is the world body. I'm the vice president all over the world. So by no stretch of imagination can I be put behind when it comes to security. So we said, if we are going to have a security conference, security summit, look at the agenda. This agenda you have is a political one, and we're not going to be part of it if it's a political agenda. What we have right now, look at those who attended. They're all politicians turned traditional rulers. None of them is essential. Did you see Obio Furniture there?
Actually,
Did you see Obio Furniture? Did you see Fuguta there? These other ones, most of them are, except maybe the Deyi of Abo. That's a traditional ruler.
yeah.
But the rest of them you saw there were all political arrangements. These were all politicians turned traditional rulers in autonomous communities. Autonomous communities. That is why I was even very mad with Eberechukwu when he went there to be publicity secretary. No! If you're going there, you should be either chairman or co-chair. Look at the other two co-chairs. They are not our traditional rulers known in Igbo land. Traditional schools in Igbo land is revered, extremely revered. AROCHUKWU cannot come there and be publicity secretary when Nikom put in there as chairman and co-chair.
All right. Finally, before I let you go, quickly, in one sentence, sir, what do you see happening in Aro? What's the solution in sight? What do you say? How do you speak to this situation in Aro right about now, in one sentence?
The will of the people must prevail.
Okay.
And the will of the people is the will of the judiciary. It must prevail. The right thing must be done. Never are we going to accept any imposition from anybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chikwe Odense. Thank you. It's been an honor having you on my show, on the show this morning. Thank you so much. And then do have a beautiful day ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you, bro. You do the same.
All right. So, and there you have it. The will of the people must prevail. The will of the judiciary is same as the will of the people, as said by my guest. So, and that's what we hope that should happen in our kingdom. A very revered society full of cultural heritage. I love our kingdom, by the way, and I hope that this whole situation with the kingship system be resolved shortly and peacefully as well. So thank you. It's been an honor being here today, and you know, riding solo without my side chick kick. All right, but we'll come back tomorrow. Do have a beautiful day. I'll take you back to Abuja right now. That was intentional. Good morning. Have a nice day.
As the sun rises, so do we rise from the east.
Cha 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 Igbo kwenu. Kwenu. Kwesoro.
Eastern Circle.